What is going on, sports fans? We are back for another episode of The Fan in the End. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rychel, being joined with the big man himself, Mr. Ben Troupe is joining us today. Unfortunately, Marvin isn't here today. He's got important stuff to do with his little one. They got a volleyball tournament going on. Wish his little one nothing but the best of skill. Get them wins today. Hopefully, you guys can put a run together. See you guys will win that tournament. Best of skill, my brother.
And that's how it goes, right? I mean, as a girl dad myself, who my child does basketball, AAU, she does flag football. If you want your child, especially if your child is a young lady, you give up at a certain age. There are no more weekends. There are no more open weekends, and that's during the season. That's during the school year. That's after the school year. So shout out to Marvin, put the miles on the car. That swiping that card for them for those hotels and food, but ain't no better time in your life. I mean, to be able to spend that time with your young ones, because that's what they're gonna remember when whatever school she does decide, or whatever school is blessed enough to make a young lady a part of that organization. But shout out to Marv and baby Marv.
That is absolutely right. And before we get too much further into it, we know what we're about to get ready to do here on the South Florida Tribune, because every episode here on the South Florida Tribune is brought to you by our good friends over at Fight Wax. Fight Wax is the ultimate skincare defense for all active lifestyles, athletes, and just your regular people. So, with that being said, guys, please make sure you are showing them some love. It's a great product. It helps treat cuts, swelling, scrapes, and abrasions, rejuvenates and restores stress skin. Customers have used for soreness, stiffness, as recovery, designed for active lifestyle athletes. Provides a ultra silky, non-greasy feel, deep hydration for everyday skincare. Helps fight dry skin. Customers have used for skin disorders such as eczema, psoriasis. And when you head over to the website, please make sure you go use that code SFT15FW when you head over to fightwax.com. Show us some love. Show them some love. We're going to get things kicked off here. And I want to get your question on something. I know you're not the biggest MMA guy and all that stuff, but you just had the White House event this past weekend, right? Obviously there was all kinds of stuff going on leading up to it. There was people trying to get the event thrown off. I've seen media members, both writers and people who were at the event, say that there were some people part of Trump's cabinet messaging people asking if this fight was fixed, if they can make some money off of that fight. All that craziness putting aside. Especially Holkett's nonsense that he started running his mouth about the firmest first lady Michelle Obama. There's no room for that. It was supposed to be a sporting event. You turned it exactly what people said it was going to be. You turned it into. So Holkett, I don't want to see you no more. You looked really good his last few fights. But when you have some nonsense come out of your mouth like that, you turn people off from what you're trying to build. And it sucks because whose card did he have around his neck, Ben? Our boy Jordan. He made Holkett some cards. He gave it to the president. As soon as he started matching Michelle Obama, Trump takes it off and throws it in the garbage. Why are you going to hurt Jordan like that, man? He didn't do nothing to nobody, man. You gotta be better at that. But on the other side of it, the co-main and main event did not go how a lot of people thought it would be. A lot of people thought that Alex Pereira was going to find a way and he was going to get Cyril Gane out of there. That didn't happen. Cyril Gane found his range, found that Muay Thai background that he's that he uses, and he gets Alex Pereira out of that, who was going to try to attempt to be the first 3-time champion in UFC history. Then you get to the main event, and Justin the Highlight Gaethje is exactly as advertised. you anyone who's fought him, who's been that upper elite level, they all say one thing: he's dangerous. He hits like a truck. I felt him for months after that fight, and everyone thought that the undefeated world champion Ilia Topuria was going to win the championship. He didn't. He or win the championship, defend his championship, and stay undefeated. He's no longer undefeated. He had Justin Gaethje in a bad spot, didn't take advantage of it, took the fight to the ground, gave Justin a chance to recover, and he took advantage of that. He drug Ilia into deep waters, took the belt, took the undefeated streak, and now he is another one of these guys who are now a two-weight multiple-time champion. All that. Justin Gaethje made a statement a few months ago as they were getting ready to put this card together. They said, if you're not going to give me a title fight, you're not going to give me a title shot, I'm going to retire right now. A lot of people weren't happy with that. I'm glad he stood on his business and did that because he deserved that fight Sunday. And I think Justin Gaethje's resume speaks for itself. He was a multiple-time world champion before coming to the UFC, and he was just like one of those things. It was like he would get the interim status, but he would never get the full belt. He is now there's no interim status or anything like that. He is the UFC lightweight champion. And here's another crazy note for you, Ben. It has been 10 years since the UFC's lightweight title has been lost inside of a cage. Conor McGregor won it. Nobody had won it in the cage or lost it in the cage. They had lost it. They vacated. They moved up, right? Khabib retired. So you get this situation where there was some history to that. So as much as we were hard on it, I think when it came down time to it, the event performed. But Justin Gaethje has cemented himself as one of these guys that he may not have like the flashy trash talk that Conor McGregor has or anything like that. Mm-hmm. He's one of these guys that when his time in this sport is done, he's a Hall of Famer regardless if we're talking UFC or anything in between. He's one of those guys that he has made his stamp in. Justin's an amazing athlete.
I agree with all your sentiments. I mean, obviously, the young dude that had the thing to say about Michelle Obama, you making it about yourself a spectacle. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he's going on the Damage Control tour and all these different things, but
he'll double down. He's an idiot. He'll double down.
Oh yeah, Dana White and the UFC has cemented itself as one of the best, nothing is going to ever outshine football. It's just not possible. But let's face it, it was going to be hard to put this event on because the first thing they had to abide by is the weather. If it gets to raining and storming out here, that's going to dampen a lot of things. Number two, to put something on at the White House was going to be hard to do, but they pulled it off. And I think the thing about it is this. If all things considered, it was a pretty successful event, especially if you love UFC, because combat sports, at one point, nothing is ever going to take the place of football, but it was threatening it because you had these major fights because boxing has kind of lost its luster, especially when you don't have a bunch of heavyweights, nothing against the featherweights and the bantamweights, but 140-pound men ain't going to sell it. Now Floyd Mayweather did, but I need the Mike Tysons and the Riddick Bowles and, and the Vander Holyfields and all those guys. But UFC Freedom 20, to put on an event like that, I remember when they first announced they was going to do it, I was like, ain't no way they're going to be able to do that. But they pulled it off. Now, just like I know, Steven, you've actually been to UFC events. It's hard to put them on, period. From promoters to who's going to be the headliners. But I just think that when you look at it as a whole, even with the theatrics, it was a pretty successful event because anything dealing with the White House, I mean, we talk about Secret Service. I mean, the president is going to be there. So logistics of it, it's going to be, forget what you normally doing. Hey, man, Do you remember when Donald Trump went to Game 3 of the finals, and the workers got to show up at 1 o'clock, and the people with tickets got to show up? If you don't like it, don't show up. So,
and that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up because I totally spaced on that. I was very upset that people were like, "It's not fair. He shouldn't be putting this type of stress on the New York workers and this, that, and the third." He's the freaking president of the United States, man. Like, what are we talking about? I don't remember anyone saying anything to Barack Obama when he's sitting there courtside at Bulls games, right? Man, that's his team. He's waited what, over 30 years for them to get back here. Donald Trump is a New Yorker through and through. Like, as much as you can say anything you want about it, he loves New York sports, and he is bluntly honest about it. You know, the fact that you're having Stephen A. Smith saying, "Oh, well, he shouldn't go," then you shouldn't watch it. I get it. It's not something you should do every time. It's not like he went to every game. He picked a game in New York. It's not like they were up 3-1. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna show up for this one." No, he showed up before that.
He had to go. He was there.
People are soft out there. They're gonna find something to always complain about. That is absolutely right, brother.
He had to show up. I mean,
it's human beings in general. We always gonna find like we want perfection in everything when we're the most imperfect things on this planet. So, I don't care that Trump went. I don't care for the pundits running their mouths about it because some people have to adjust their start time to when they want to go to the event. Man, you live in New York. You already know it's a freaking circus. You're like, come on, people. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you are, I get it. Now, I'm happy that, New York did win the whole thing. But if you are Donald Trump, he wanted to be the first sitting president to go to a finals, series, but it's in New York. I think if it's Philly.
If it's anywhere else, he ain't going.
Yeah. If it's Philly in the finals, or and sometimes you have to show the president how hard it is for him to do these things. Hey, man, we did it, but you see how crazy it was to actually do it because the busiest, most important city in America that's already congested without a finals game. Just a regular day in New York City is crazy. Now we got to shut the streets down for how far out? I mean, at least a couple of miles. The workers for a game that started at 7 o'clock got to get there at 1 o'clock. What? Oh, yeah, you're going to really get pat down today.
That's more money in your bank account. What are y'all complaining about? That's free overtime because the Trump decided he was going to catch a game. Yo, guys, we got that extra money. We're going on vacation in a few weeks. You should be happy about this stuff. Like, we're in a place where some people are dying for jobs, but we're complaining about having to come to work a little bit early, getting some free overtime. Like,
yeah. Well, like you just said, Stephen, certain things you're not going to win, right? Like I said, there was a video of I think this is the first time. I think this is Trump's first time as president. He was in Atlanta or somewhere, and somebody saw how many. It was all these black SUVs driving by, and people was like, "Well, which one is Trump in?" You won't even know. It's like 100 of them drove by. Like, you won't know.
That's just the point. He don't want you to know.
Yeah, you just better stay in your house, like they asked you to. So, yeah, I mean, UFC, Freedom 250. I mean, I think, with all the things that could go wrong, you're not going to worry about one idiot saying something dumb about the former first lady. He's going to have to live with the consequences of you cannot let what you feel internally come out in public, because now the public backlash is going to be something. Yes, Dana White came out and condemned it. Yes, even the comedian who was making jokes about it condemned it, because what starts happening is you start saying, dude, Me having a dislike or distaste for something doesn't mean I got to say everything publicly, especially if I'm a public figure. Dummy, don't you know?
And the dude, you was a football player at one point in time, so he gets that aspect of it.
Yeah. Well,
So,
well,
like,
you
that's
thought
why
he
I said,
did,
like,
and you thought.
exactly what
I
he was doing.
mean,
He knew
well,
exactly why he was going to say it, and he turned it into a spectacle, which people did, which the people who were putting it on did not want in the first place.
yeah. Well, whoever his friend is in his friend group that told him, "Hey, dude, I don't think you should do this. That I don't think it's a good," and he didn't listen to him. It's the only friend he can trust because I don't know if he's married. I don't know if he has children. But like we know, I mean, see, for me and you, we're public figures, and everything we say and do has consequences. Now we ain't walking around timid or scared or afraid, but that doesn't mean we say everything we feel. And at that, you're gonna be known forever as the guy that said the dumbest thing possible after a win. You could have just went inside. And now it's like, and when you do the whole, what's the big deal? Dude, what are you doing? Really? God, you had one thing to do. So.
Oh, man. But yeah, it's one of these things, man. Like, I think for the overhype that was surrounding the event that it delivered. Like,
Yeah.
There's some stuff like, like there's some, the people that were there that were there, like those are some moments that like then you're never gonna be able to do it. Like there was a picture, like I guess they shot of Justin Gage. He's reading the Declaration of Independence, and this is like minutes before he's about to walk out and fight for the world title. So it's like one of those things that's like, before I won my first world champion, I was in the White House reading the Declaration of Independence. Like, walking down the White House steps to go out to the cage, like being there with the with your Medal of Honor guys, as you're walking through, like, dude, like those are things that you can't put a price tag on.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of what any of the fighters were, purses, bonuses, etc., were that night. Those were moments that, regardless of if you're a Trump guy, if you're a UFC guy, think about those people that were able to be there.
Yep.
They're never gonna have access like that again.
Oh no. Yeah, that's a.
Like, listen, we got 3 hours. We got to make the most of this.
Facts. I mean, I'm just thinking about everything that could have went wrong, and it didn't. And
I don't know if you've seen that the FBI reported they stopped 3 different attacks that night. 3.
And look, let me say this about the FBI, the police department. They get a lot of flack, right? When they get it wrong, but they get it right, especially the FBI. The FBI, the CIA, Secret Service, these people get it right more often than not, because most of the time it don't even make the news. Oh, we stopped the threat before the threat even became a threat. And there are some sick individuals I'm gonna try to make a mockery of, but the FBI we do this every day. And we know we're gonna have some dummies that's thinking, oh, I'm gonna make this about me. Boy, you won't even, we're gonna put your name in the paper. And right before you get ready to do something stupid, you're gonna hear freeze. Uh-huh. Yeah, put your hands up. Yeah. No. Oh, yes. This ain't a hunch. Yeah. So yeah, I give every person that has something to do with that event a lot of credit, because you know how it is, Steven. If somebody said, hey man, we trying to do something in downtown Philly. You trying to do what? An outdoor UFC event. Okay.
Joe Rogan was completely against it when he announced it. He's like, yeah, no, I'm not for this. I don't want this.
But they did it. They put it on. And when Dana White started UFC, or however he did it, to see it come to this level, it's like when Elon Musk and them, Elon Musk didn't start Twitter, but Trump is the one that solidified Twitter when he started making Twitter or X. He started putting out his like addressing the nation through X. Hey, I don't got to talk to people directly. I can do it with 270 characters. So these things have gone to another level now. And like I say, I hope that UFC uses this momentum to get back to one. Let's just first and foremost start paying these fighters. Absolutely. I don't want to hear this crying broke stuff no more.
Man, we were talking about this a few weeks ago. The WNBA gets paid more.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. Dana White. I don't want to hear that.
That's not a fair comparison. They still get. I don't care if they're getting money from it. If the base salary of the WNBA player is more than the base salary of it to be for a UFC fighter, is wrong. And I get where Dana's coming. Like, I don't know if this guy can fight. You want me to pay him, $500K a fight? You're out of your mind. I get that aspect of it, but let's just say you get through the first contract, right? That's when it should significantly go up, not slightly go up. And a lot of these guys, they don't make it through more than 6 fights. But the guys that make it past that, you should have some incentive scale for them. Now I told you I didn't care about the money. Now I don't know what Justin's base pay was for Sunday night, but I can tell you what his bonus was. It was $825,000.
Woo!
He almost got $1 million bonus from that fight. So now we're just talking about that in that aspect because of how that all plays out, but that's just engaging. What about the guys that lower in the food chain? What about the Bo Nichols? Obviously, he probably gets paid more than most. What about Kyle Dawkins? This is his second trip to the UFC. These guys shouldn't be fighting for 10-10 and 15-15.
No. Not at 20. Listen, not at 20. And I don't know how the UFC works. I don't know how if they got a union and all these different things. But there's
no union. They are subcontracted employees and can be fired at any moment. They have jobs. They have less job security than the 54th man on a football roster.
Yeah, I mean
those guys got it rough.
That's a travesty. That is a travesty.
If you're going to move or going to get cut or they're going to move on from you, then what about what happens to some of these guys, right? You got to break a lease because you got to leave, right? You just got let go in Carolina. You got to go out to Arizona now because you're on the practice squad there. You got to break a lease there, so you need more money for that. The practice squad guys don't get paid. The decent money. They barely get $500K. All right, and let's say that's a rookie. Ben, you can tell the folks about this. How many of the veterans at the team dinners are going to run through those kids' rookie contracts?
That team, that rookie. What's crazy? When you see contracts now. Obviously, contracts have gone up because the money has gone up.
Yes,
but it's like this, Stephen. It would be like saying, "Hey, man, you mean to tell me that this millionaire don't live over here in this $1,200 a month apartment?" No, they don't. Mm-mm. No, you usually live according to how much you make. That's any and everybody. I mean, and so and here's another thing that people don't want to factor in. If Stephen Rychel gets drafted, you draft his whole family, especially if I go from a have-not to a have-got. Now, when people start saying, is that fair or unfair? Well, that's just how you was raised. If you grow up and you love your parents, you have loving parents, you love your siblings, you got loving siblings, you trying to help them out. It ain't something, and most people are trying to get to that second contract. So if you're a rookie, you saying, hey, I'm trying to learn how to get used to money, wait on my second contract, and I'm gonna look out. Well, what if you got a family? You one of 6 kids, one of 10. So it's a lot of factors that factor into it. But the fact that in 2026, UFC fighters are still, because the one main thing that you hear about these UFC fighters is, man, the pay, man. What do you mean? Like, I want to win my fight. Then I want to have fight of the night so I can get, or fight of the night, knockout of the night, submission of the.
It's fucked up, and you know I don't curse a lot on here. That you have fighters going on social media and begging fans and everyone else so they can get ancillary bonuses, performance bonuses for their wins, because you know they're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul just to get through training camp. So it's one of these things where it's rough, and especially for me, like, dude, combat sports is where I started becoming like a quote unquote, journalist, media member, whatever. So it's a little bit more significant to me because I've interviewed a lot of these people. I've talked to a lot of them off of the media side of things. So it's like you want to see them be successful and live an easy life because they put in a lot of the hard work, and people they really don't get it. They really don't.
I don't know how true this is. I just looked up Dana White's net worth. They say his net worth like half $1.6 billion.
This is the messed up part. So Dana's no longer the front face. He's not. He's just a figurehead. That Hunter Campbell is the guy that does all the matchmaking. He does all that stuff now. That was the point of bringing Hunter in, because he was supposed to take Dana White away. Dana White loses more on a gambling table than some of those fighters that I was just telling you about make their entire professional MMA career on one night, just because he decided that, I want to go crazy at some blackjack tonight.
Yeah. I mean,
like freaking $15 million on the blackjack table.
I mean, a product. Here's the thing. Well, here's how UFC has gone to different stratospheres. When you have to move over to Hunter Campbell, when you have to say, "Hey, I've done my part as for what Dana White has done, but I want my sport. I've never understand why the people that make the sport don't get compensated in ways to say, hey man, fair is going to be different across the board. What Conor McGregor is going to want and John Jones is going to want is going to be different than upcoming UFC. I remember Ultimate Fighter, Rampage Jones and those guys, right? It helped push the sport. And I think now, even with UFC not paying fighters, you still got a bunch of guys and gals coming up through that sport saying, I still want to do it. And I know I'm taking a gamble, but it's what I do. I knock people out. I put people in submission. Everything has to have a base.
The ultimate game of human chess. That's what that is what MMA is. It is the ultimate game of human chess. You can say a lot of things. People wanted to call it cockfighting. That's not fucking cockfighting. Birds fight to the death. You have a referee in there, like, okay, that's enough. This guy's taking enough punishment. This fight's over. Right.
What's the guy? He had braids in his hair. It's the quickest knockout. He came in and jumped and hit the dude and knocked him out. It was like in like 2 seconds, and on the ground he like slapped the ground when he hit him. What was that guy's name, man? The last name begins with an M. I'm finna find it.
I've seen a lot of knockouts in my life, dude, and I've seen a lot of fast ones too. But I mean,
hold on.
Conor McGregor still holds the record for the fastest. No, he doesn't hold the record anymore. Somebody beat him within the last few years.
George Masvidal? Listen, because the guy
he knocked out Ben Askren.
And he was out. He was like,
the funny part, there was a lot of trash talk between them two leading up to that fight.
And the thing about UFC,
people forget.
Yeah,
I remember when Kimbo came out.
Yes, Kimbo Slice.
Yeah, so remember that first video you seen him in the backyard with the big burly dude where he basically knocks his eye out of his head, right? So what people don't remember is the entire video. There's multiple fights, and there's a young Jorge Masvidal doing his first backyard fight before he ever even had a MMA fight, a boxing fight, or anything like that. That's how OG Jorge Masvidal is.
It's addictive, man. I will always say this about UFC. It's one of the most addictive. It's combat sports. I mean, and you got your headliners, right? You got your headliners, but
I think
such.
it's everyone that makes the card. It's not just who your main event, your co-main event, your champion, or anything like that. Everyone makes it.
Yeah,
Everyone makes those events specials. From the first fight of the night to the headliner of the undercard, all that stuff. Like you need all those fighters to perform.
Yeah.
It was definitely I think it was a good night for Americans. It was a good night for the event, but we've already spent 30 minutes on this. Holy! So I got one for you, and I'm gonna do the thing that I know Ben hates. I'm gonna make you choose.
Uh-oh.
I came across this post, and oh man, I gotta get your thoughts on this one. So it was one of these ones where it's one of these NFC East, hate on each other kind of groups on Facebook, and I came across this one, and I had to get your thought on it, right? Is Lane Johnson a better offensive lineman than Larry Allen ever was?
What?
Now, listen, we already know Larry Allen, he moved houses. He just listen, that the reason why Emmitt Smith's got 18,000 yards rushing and is one renowned as one of the greatest running backs of all time is because of guys like Larry Allen and Nate Newton, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lane Johnson is special.
Yes.
They don't play the same position, so you have to grade this totally different, right? And let's just say that I think Lane has probably faced the better of the defensive lineman pass rushers in his career over what Larry Allen had to face. So I'll kind of give Lane the edge there. But he just, I don't know if it's either the championships or just, what Allen did with his, because he didn't even stay in Dallas when everyone thought he was done. He went to San Francisco for a few years. He did what he had to do. Regardless if it's Larry Allen or Nathan, I think that it's subjective. It's so subjective because, but let's be honest. Any of those names, Lane Johnson's a first ballot Hall of Famer. You can argue with me all you want. You can say I'm a homer all day long. He, not only that, you know how smart Lane is? Like he literally almost by a millisecond gets called for false start almost every play. He has everything timed out so perfectly what his team does. He literally jumps and gets that kick out before most of your pass rushers even get out of their initial, burst. Lane's already got 2 steps on him. So to be that in tune with your quarterback, your center, and the rest of the offensive line to basically legally cheat, because that's basically what he's doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to know the game, and I think Lane does that. I think I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't know what it is, and I don't know if it's because of Dallas or not. Like I don't want to put him there, but I still feel that Nate Newton's the better offensive line. Lane is a Hall of Famer. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I believe Lane.
Lane
is
my guy, and I got some sentimentality to it. But as I said, we don't talk BS here. And as much as I love Lane, I can't do it.
Lane Johnson. It shows you. Okay, Lane Johnson in the last 2 years has caused controversy. He ain't done nothing. First, it was him and Penei Sewell, and then the numbers came, and then it didn't go in Penei. What worked in Penei Sewell's favor is Detroit Lions playing well, and he's really, really young. Got it. That doesn't mean he's better. When people start comparing Lane Johnson to Larry Allen, that actually lets you know how much respect people have for Lane. Larry Allen is considered, Larry Allen is considered by some to be the greatest offensive line, some offensive guard. I know Hannah is up there. But it shows how consistent.
Larry Allen is the best offensive guard we've ever seen.
Yeah,
I've seen John Hain. I think he was great. He was fantastic. He wasn't Larry Allen.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Lane Johnson is so good that he's boring. Like when you're like Joe, he is like nothing. The only way Lane Johnson makes headlines is if he says something or somebody don't like the fact that he's not
that's what you want out of your offensive tackle, that you don't hear their name all day long. That's what you want.
Yeah, and
look at Lane's highlight reel, dude. He pip smacked freaking Broncos Von Miller. Let me make that clear. Broncos Von Miller. Micah Parsons hasn't even registered a pressure against him.
Yes, he's a. When people go, okay, this is what people need to stop doing. There are two offensive linemen three. For the Eagles that will always stand out. Well, four, sorry. Jason Kelce, Runyon, Jason Peters, and Lane Johnson. Like, Lane Johnson to me is any era O-lineman. You can stick him back in the day, he's going to be nice. Because, listen, he doesn't care about anything but protecting his QB. It doesn't matter who's behind him. And when people start saying, you compare Lane Johnson to Larry Allen, look at the consistency. What? Been to 2 Super Bowls, won 1, can play the next 5 years because he's technically sound, and you don't hear from him. You don't hear a peep. You don't hear anything. Like, nothing. So I love the fact that Lane Johnson is finally getting his flowers, because people don't fully understand how incredible of a football player he is. Mm-hmm. His work week is crazy. And he's the type of offensive lineman. He goes, look, he lives out there on like a ranch or something, in the woods or something. And
he also created the off-season program for all the offensive linemen called the offensive the O-line masterminds. Like the tight ends get together.
Yeah.
He does the same thing for the linemen. Him, I forget who the other 2 current linemen are, but like Lane founded that. So not only is he one of the guys that's in the conversation as one of the best right tackles of all time, but he's doing more to give back to the future guys that are eventually going to be your future Pro Bowlers, all Prolers, multiple-time Super Bowl champions, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it puts him in a special area. But again, like, Larry Allen was the best. I don't know.
I mean, Lane is carving out a lane for Lane. Lane played for the perfect team for him. People don't like the Eagles. People don't like the Eagles' success. People don't like the Eagles' dominance. People don't like Lane. Like, sometimes you're not liked because of who you play for more than how you play. Why don't people like Jason Tatum? He plays for the Celtics. Okay. Why didn't people like Tucker play for the Patriots? Okay. Like, certain players, you're not – who gets the most hate of any quarterback? Jalen Hurts. What? Eagles. It's a natural theme, right? Why don't people like Dak Prescott? He plays for the Cowboys. Like, why didn't people like it? We get it. But for Lane, you ask any O lineman and you ask any D lineman about him, they're going to sit back and they see, oh, Lane, yeah, I mean, that dude. Ask Penei Sewell. Ask Trent Williams. Ask any one of these dominant O linemen. Lane Johnson walk in the room, and now we can sit down and eat. Lane's here. For real? Yeah. Because Lane Johnson got this. Jason Peters was a part of my draft class in 2004. He went undrafted to the Buffalo Bills as a tight end. He moved over to left tackle really quickly. He came over to the Eagles, and you see what I'm saying? It's like, dude.
He was the bodyguard.
And so what I like about Lane Johnson is this. Bald head offensive linemen with big gigantic beards, they don't like other humans. They don't like people. He like his wife if he's married. He like his teammates because he's contractually obligated to do it, and he hates D linemen. Do you see? Training camp is going to be John Grenard and Nolan Smith and all those guys. They got to go up against him. And he goes, listen, there's a door. It got Johnson on it, and I don't open it often. That's the only way you're going to get to him. All doors are closed. I'm the only one got the key. So, yep, I'm not surprised. And to those people who are saying Lane Johnson shouldn't be in the same category as Larry Allen, you're lying to yourself. 15 years, 16 years of anything professional is crazy. 16 years or whatever starting. Since Lane Johnson has started, he hasn't left. He's not going anywhere. And he's saying, I think I'm just starting to hit my stride. What? Yeah. Like, my best football is still ahead of me. Yeah. I move grown men against their will. They don't got to like it. He going that way, though. He don't got to like it. He's going that way. Ask Micah Parsons who would you rather go up against, Penei Sewell or Lane Johnson? Ask him. Oh, I'll take Penei all day long. Because that guy over there, yeah, he doesn't. He's very stingy. He doesn't give up a lot.
Both can admit, love Lane Johnson, but can't put him over Larry Allen.
No, but hold on. But you can't put many. You ain't gonna put many. I mean, when I think of Lane Johnson, and I mean this humbly, when I put him in the same category as a Jonathan Ogden. These guys that were just there, and they were incredible since they've been drafted. When the Ravens' first two draft picks were Jonathan Ogden and Ray Lewis. How did those two guys end up? Those bums. Oh, okay. Lane Johnson is in that category because, number one, for the same squad. Top 5 pick. I'm here. Yep. Like the guy that had the dog mask on. Who gonna say something to him? Nobody.
Listen, Lane had the German Shepherd mask. Bo Allen had the poodle mask.
Hey, and I guarantee you, whoever sold those masks sold out. Thank you, Lane. Thank you, sir.
Not only that, you got to think about it. Anytime those two do a signing in Philadelphia, you know those masks are going to be available.
Of course, he's a man. He's a man amongst the people. If you think of what Philadelphia is as a city, as a sports town, it's Lane Johnson. I'm gritty. I don't care if you don't like me. In the words of T.I., yeah, they don't like me, but they won't fight me. They don't like me, but they won't fight me either. I'm just telling you, you can say whatever.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Lane is a big human. So when you see him in public, you're going to be like.
He just got married. Lane is going to be in a special place in this city. I think a lot of people love Kelsey more because of the Super Bowl speech, but I think the longevity that Lane gave you, when he retires, everyone's going to be like, oh, he was that good.
Yes.
You're gonna start hearing that right tackle's name get called a whole lot more. You're like, oh, that's how good Lane was. Okay, now I get it. But want to move on to the next one, right? And we were just talking about moves being made and things of that nature, right? Before we came on. Look at the current list of available free agents right now, right? You got Taylor Deckner, Stephon Diggs, Joey Bosa, Deebo Samuel, Kane Robinson, Kevin Ziegler. I think Cam Jordan just signed.
He re-signed with the Saints.
All right. Janu Smith, Bobby Wagner, and the Mekhi Becton.
Woo!
So here's my question. Obviously, I don't think Wagner or Deebo's going back to Washington. Let's be honest with that. But I think both of them will be on a team before we hit training camp. Where do you have any potential destinations where you think any of these guys could end up? I mean, obviously, Tyreek Hill isn't on the list, but probably should be.
Yeah.
I I still think Tyreek Hill is going to be in Kansas City by week 4.
This
That's my
list,
personal opinion, but I could be wrong. We'll see how that plays out.
Bobby Wagner is going to be on. Bobby Wagner is going to make somebody's team. Stephon Diggs. If Stephon Diggs
is my choice to go to Dallas. I think that's
Stephon Diggs, if he didn't have the baggage that came with him, somebody would pick him up. Deebo Samuels, I think, is going to be the wild card for this reason. Deebo's best years are definitely behind him because when he was in that
Kyle Shanahan, somewhere like Chicago, San Diego, something like that.
I think Joey Bosa is going to have to start staring in the mirror of reality because
he had a good season last year. He wasn't hurt. He wasn't hurt.
He's more of a third down guy now. He's not an every down guy now.
Yeah. He's the guy you bring out with your NASCAR package where you just
Mekhi Becton, I think he's looking saying, dude, I should have never left.
He just wants to invite the Eagles training camp so he can see if he can win his job back.
And here's the thing about, I think Tyreek Hill is destined to be I think he's going to be in Kansas City. I just think they're going to find a way to bring him in because they seem to be the only team. One that could keep him, within the confines of what they're trying to do. Eric Bieniemy ain't gonna baby him. He gonna say, "Look, you still got something left in the tank, but we trying to get what you got left." Being a free agent and being over 30 years old, they don't mix because I know that Odell Beckham Jr. is back in New York. But so is Barry.
I got one for you to laugh. I seen this, right? His OTA combined of 3 plays. A deep ball, drop pass, and a hobble off the field. That was the first 3 plays of OTA. Now, I don't know if whatever he nicked on himself is going to be a prolonged thing, but if the start's going to tell me how this is going to play out, if I'm New York, I'm looking for another wide receiver.
Well, Deebo Samuels could definitely find himself in New York for this reason. Here's the thing about Odell Beckham Jr. The camera guy loves him. He gonna look real good in warm-ups and doing the one-hand catches. And here's the thing about Odell that Odell doesn't want to come to grips with. Dude, you older. You're not as quick as you used to be. You're not as fast as you used to be. You're not as dominant and explosive as you used to be. These DBs are saying to themselves, man, I grew up watching you, man, when you had the blonde hair and everything. Then you went to Cleveland. Then you went to the Rams. Then you went to the Ravens, right? It's like you've been on a lot of teams lately. And Harbaugh is trying to get that old thing back with him, similar to Mike Vrabel and A.J. Brown. The problem is A.J. Brown is still in his prime. And Odell, ever since your hair went from blonde to black, you've been regular. And I'm not saying it's because of the blonde hair. I'm saying just like you. It's like this, Stephen. Football is the type of sport you have to do it consistently to get better at it. This taking years off, I'm going to be all right. If I see another one-handed – how many one-handed catch? He had one-handed catch. He had that one-handed catch on, against Dallas on Monday Night Football. They lost that game. They lost.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's like the thing he hangs his hat on is that catch, right? And
yeah,
that's it. Like if that's the only thing you're gonna bring to the table, man, you're gonna have to do something. I don't know if he can impart veteran leadership on these wide receivers. I can't say he can or can't. I'm not in the locker room. I'm not in the training room, so I don't know how he interacts with everybody. But I can tell you that this much. He's gonna need more than just the highlight reel clips. He's gonna have to produce.
That's why they brought in. They signed Odell, then they signed Barrios, then they signed Juju Smith-Schuster, all on 1-year deals. You know why? 1-year deals mean we can cut you. That's no guaranteed money. That's no signing bonus money. We got Odell Beckham, who he got that last hurrah. We got Barrios, who's a slot receiver, and we got Juju Smith-Schuster, who's a TikTok star. He wanted to dance. He wanted to do all this before the game. All three of those guys not making the team. And for Odell Beckham, unfortunately, your resume is what they hoping they get. He's not that anymore. He's not. He's
getting the resume, that's for sure.
Training camp will be interesting. And Kayvon Thibodeau, I know you come out and say, "Hey man, we got so much talent, we don't know what to do with it." Who cares how much talent you got? You ain't got Dexter Lawrence. So Brian Burns is going to see what life is going to be like not having a stud next to you. And Kayvon, you might be the odd man out. Abdul Carter, he got to start stay out eggs. So we're going to see how all y'all gel together. But y'all still ain't beating the Eagles. You probably ain't beating Dallas. Probably going to be the dogfight against the Commanders. So we will see. We'll see,
yeah. I mean, obviously a lot of hype in New York right now with free agent moves and all that other stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I want to get your thoughts on this. We talked about it last week, right? With the whole what was going on with AJ and what he said, what he wrote on the locker room wall after leaving the building. Did you hear he refused to elaborate on it? The New England press had got.
Who wants you to elaborate on it?
All right, so remember he went back to NovaCare Complex to kind of get all his personal things, say his goodbyes.
Yeah.
So he wrote on the wall that he was basically the greatest wide receiver in Eagles history. Right? So the New England, yes, exactly. You're doing what I'm doing. So the New England media asked him to elaborate on it, and he was like, basically, I'm here now in the present. I'm not going to address any of that. I'm not going to answer this, blah, 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 blah. So, obviously, Asante Samuel had to enter the chat.
Here we go.
And basically calls him out for lying about leaking stories to the media, talks about his jealousy towards Jalen Hurts. And here's the thing. The jealousy wasn't even towards Jalen either. The jealousy wasn't even towards Devontae Smith because, we already seen a few times last season where there were just some questionable things that AJ was doing. But remember after the Super Bowl win, when everyone was doing the Coupe thing, right? And then AJ Brown had to come up with something for fans to engage him when he made a big play. And that's when the whole AO thing came. So, Seth Joyner's right. He is the epitome of a 21st century wide receiver. I think whatever happened in his past, his trust issue, just plays so much into that he just – I think he's not going to get through stuff like this until he's done playing football.
Nope.
There's some guys we just don't get it until later in life. We don't. And I think AJ is going to be one of those guys. He's going to have walls up. He's not going to trust people. Things are going to trigger him. He's going to respond in not the proper way. And that's what you're going to have to deal with AJ Brown. But let's also remember when dealing with A.J. Brown, you're going to still be dealing with a guy that's capable of 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns a year, 80 or more receptions a year. You're still going to get production out of him for at least 2 of the next 3 years. You have him under contract. So Patriots didn't completely lose out on it, but Mike Vrabel better not be worried about what's going on in his personal life because he's got a situation that he needs to get both hands around. And if he's dealing with Diana Rossini or his wife or the media and then also A.J. Brown, he going to get burnt out real fast. So I'm going to be interested to see how Asante the Patriots this season, because we obviously know he's got horses in both of the races. He's a lifetime Patriot. He's an Eagle. All that good stuff. He's got love from both sides. So it's gonna be interesting to see where his takes land on it. But the fact that he already called AJ out kind of tells me where he's leaning towards. So I just gotta say it like this: You're not the best wide receiver that ever played in Philadelphia. You're definitely top 5 without a doubt. There's no argument there. There's nothing to argue there. Not better than Terrell Owens.
Nope.
Not better than Harold Carmichael.
Look.
Not better than Michael Quick.
Look, man.
But that right there, after that, that's where AJ Brown belongs, especially because he only played here for less than a handful of years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, T.O., why I said T.O. first is because T.O., Hall of Famer, all that other stuff, didn't spend a whole lot of time here, but without a doubt, was the best wide receiver that ever wear the Eagle green, without a doubt. And it's not close. And it's not a knock on A.J. Brown. It's not.
Nope.
But him writing that, his response when the media, this is exactly why he's where he is right now. Doesn't mean he can't perform. Doesn't mean that the Patriots are going to be a flop. Doesn't mean any of that. It just means that he comes with baggage, and you have to be prepared to carry that baggage. Or protect your team and your other players from that baggage. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out in New England this year. I think, if anything, that should probably be the story over, Vrabel and Versini, all that nonsense. Because as much as it's still not over, I just don't want to do it anymore.
I mean, A.J. Brown has, in the last, his first year as an Eagle, people was like, dude, this is what you want. Okay.
That year.
You know what I'm saying? It's like this dude was, he had already, I mean, people knew who he was coming from Tennessee.
He had grown men crying on the freaking bench because they didn't know what to do with him.
Man, when I think of A.J. Brown, I think of what could have been. Not what was, not what happened.
Here's where I want to get your thoughts. Say you're an Eagles fan for a second, right? I'm taking myself out of this. I want to get your thoughts. Does how he leave and now knowing what happened over the last few years with a championship run in the middle of it, does it sour his time here and give you a different perspective on him? Like, not to give him the love, or is it one of those things where it's like kind of the T.O. situation? Give it 10 years and everyone will be in love with AJ again.
It depends on what AJ says and does when it comes to the Eagles for the rest of his career. Because I take CJ Gardner-Johnson. I believe people are going to forgive CJ because CJ went to the ring ceremony and he could make amends. He did kind of like the podcast.
He ate his crow to his team.
Exactly. He understood when he went on the pivot, and he really got to say, man, I love those dudes, man. Like, I could never say, you know what I'm saying? It was a misunderstanding. With AJ, it was, once it started, it didn't stop. Like, it's one thing to have an incident, but then you start talking about first it was him and Sirianni. Then it was him and Jalen. Then it was the book on the sideline. Then it was the complaining about not getting touches. Then it was, now you hear about, what people are going to remember is the playoff game, man. Like, you was talking too much to look like that.
Like, there was things that me and you talked about after some of those losses too. Like, there was plays where it was like a double move and go. He'd make the double move and stop, and then realize, oh wait, I'm supposed to go, and then start running, and then he's overthrown. He gave up on that team before the season started. I don't care if he's crying about touches after you blew out the best passing defense in the NFL in a game that you had over 5 touches and over 100 yards. You demand a trade after that game when you're still undefeated. He gave up on that team, Ben, and I think that's what Eagles fans are going to remember for now until they can finally get it out of their system. They're going to remember he quit on them. That's what they're going to
they look, I would never, ever tell a fan how they should or shouldn't go about a player. But when I think about the best receivers came through Philadelphia, yes, he's a part of it. Nobody's gonna be better than T.O. It's not possible. But I think about, a guy, and it wasn't a better player, but I think about the contributions of a Alshon Jeffrey. I think about the Sean Jackson. When I think about, I think about those guys and what they meant. The thing about AJ is you got to appreciate a team like Philly, a city like Philly. Like you got to, because he talking about, oh God, I'm in New England. Oh God, stop it. Stop it. You're not doing that for real. You're not gonna have
calling his mom and all this other stuff, man. A Philadelphia media member said this, and he's like, he wanted to ask AJ just this question: did you call your mama after you won the Super Bowl? You do the same thing? I don't think he did.
It's when you start talking about dynasties, which is something we talked about before the show, Steven.
We gonna get Eagles, into it in a few minutes. It's coming.
It's just saying, when I think about AJ, I start saying T.O. You should have learned from T.O. to say you can go at a lot of people. You can't go at the quarterback, man. You're not gonna win that. Why? Then if you leaking stories, what's the point of that? There are two kind of diva receivers. You got the ones that want the ball. Okay, Jamar Chase want the ball, but he don't go to the media about it because he know he gonna get it. He know he gonna get it. AJ was complaining about getting the rock. So when they tried to force feed you, they lost. And when they had to force feed you, you dropped it. You dropped it in the playoffs. And now, I don't know why it took your trade so long. You would have traded. We knew about your trade when the first off season first started. When your production is okay, but your behavior is awful, you gotta go. Because Sirianni said, look, I bowed out. As the head coach, I left it alone. I'm gonna do the AJ thing behind closed doors. Here come AJ again reading books. Now you got AJ and Jalen. Now you got AJ complaining about the offense. Now you got AJ complaining about his touches. Now AJ comes to the facility. He don't want to make nothing about it, but I'm the greatest receiver. You are not. You know how you know? Because you had to say it. If I got to tell you
when you're the greatest, you don't have to say it. They say
exactly. I mean, the greatest thing, when T.O. became an Eagle, that was must-see TV. Donovan McNabb, I ain't never had
every week was must-see TV.
Every week, man, it was great. So I think for AJ, no matter what, he's chasing ghosts. You're not going to be better than T.O., ever in with Philly. And T.O.'s legacy was cemented when he broke his leg or whatever, ankle, whatever, and then he went in the Super Bowl and was balling out. And now, Donovan McNabb
for 121 yards and a touchdown.
Man, Donovan McNabb
on a broken leg.
Donovan didn't have to prove his worth, but the game they needed to win, he didn't play in it. That was the NFC Championship game, and they won that thing to go to the Super Bowl to play New England and lose. AJ, you are headed to New England. You think you're going to be a better receiver than Randy or Wes Welker? No. You think you'll have a bigger impact than Gronk? No. What Vrabel is saying, hey, dude, can you keep that under wraps? Can you keep that under control? Why? Because one guy is not bigger than the squad, and I don't need to be answering questions about one player. You became a headache with the Eagles. Like you really, and the Eagles don't build it. Real good teams don't build their teams around one player. Good teams build a team around the team itself. That way, if one guy leaves, we're gonna be straight. Devonta Smith, the same thing he had to do in college is what he had to do in the pros. When he first got to Alabama, right? They had Jerry Jeudy, right, and Henry Ruggs, right, and John Mechie, and all these guys. He ended up winning the Blendikoff. He ended up winning the Heisman, and he just bowed his time. Well, he's ready to be number one. The Slim Reaper, he ready. That boy is cool, calm, and collected. But y'all had a good thing going, and Devonta ain't gonna say nothing. He like, hey, Jay, man, why you messing this up, man? We could have did this for the next 4 years, but now.
I'll say
and watch it end up being something crazy. The Eagles versus New England in the Super Bowl. And Quinn Young
I hope that's not the case. I do. I hope it's Buffalo or somebody like that, dude. Like
Man, Quinyon gonna look at AJ and say,
give us Denver, somebody
man,
like that, dude. I don't want. Listen,
if Quinyon Mitchell meet AJ in the Super Duper, he gonna say, "Boy, you should have kept it quiet, boy." What you mean? Yeah, that ain't over here, man. It's AJ Brown is gonna be the big. When everything happened with T.O., I said, well, hopefully that'll never happen again. Because that was a weird situation. And obviously T.O. forced Big Red's hand. He forced Andy Reid's hand. Andy's obviously going to pick, Donovan McNabb. And Sirianni like, dude, you making this easy, AJ. Why? Because you're doing something every year now, every offseason. Why can't you just play? What's the problem? You're a champion. That ain't enough. We're trying to give you the rock. That ain't enough. Well, I want to get my touches. Win or lose, I want to get my touch. You don't want to win, and I get you. Nope, I'd rather lose and get my touches. Well, that's what we're gonna do. If we get you touches, we're gonna lose. So, but Jalen is saying, hey, I'm gonna just go out there and do what I normally did. Oh, what's up, Hollywood Brown? Oh, what's up, Lemon? You know what I'm saying? Like, you think the Eagles are gonna miss AJ Brown? No, AJ Brown's gonna miss the Eagles. Because how long is it going to take in New England for it to get bad? And here it is. Finger pointing. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
And since you're talking about Donnie Mack, did you see the announcement that the McNabb family had this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, where's son going?
UNLV.
Nice.
Donnie Mack Jr. is going to UNLV.
Okay.
Another great Eagle that went to the UNLV. Oh, that was Randall Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham. I mean, I'm happy for number one. Is his name Donovan McNabb Jr.? Is he
Donovan McNabb Jr.? He is.
There's a lot of pressure on players.
Thank God he's a wide receiver.
Okay, there's a lot of pressure on players to have these famous last names, but when you got your daddy's last name, now, if you are Cam Newton's son, when they ask Cam Newton, why would you name your son Cam? He's like, well, I wouldn't want to put that much pressure on my son. And so what is your son's name? His name is Chosen. Okay. So you didn't name him Cam, you named him Chosen? Yeah. Okay. That's not pressure. But
the pressure on the Chosen one is going to be
yeah, I mean, you're starting to see a lot of these famous football players' son. I mean, most of them is going to Notre Dame with Jerome Bettis' son and Larry Fitzgerald's son and Plaxico Burress' son and different guys. And now you got Donovan McNabb Jr. going to UNLV. I'm happy for I know that Ryan Clark's son went to Notre Dame and he started off at Arizona State. And I think that I want to say that Chad Ochocinco's son went to Arizona State. To be the son of these famous, you got a famous daddy. I give him a lot of credit for still wanting to go the football route. Because no matter what, I mean, unless you Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr., it's going to be hard to live up to that legacy with what
unless you're better than your daddy, you're never going to live up to the legacy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember when Emmitt Smith's son chose to go to Stanford out of high school, and I remember when Emmitt Smith's son went on a visit to Georgia, and Emmitt Smith walking around with a Georgia. Why would you put on a Georgia? You don't got to do that, Emmitt. Like, just go there. Why you got to put on the Georgia jersey, boy? Anyway, it's not even go there. That's why I respect Kevin Taylor, the son of Fred Taylor. Both went to Florida, right? And I think Kevin Taylor is up for the Florida-Georgia Game Hall of Fame. His daddy is already. And for those of you, and you want to check the stats on high school, the number one, the running back that got the most rushing yards in high school is Derrick Henry. Right behind him is Kevin Taylor, the son of Fred Taylor. So them boys doing it down there in the state of Florida. But yeah, shout out to Donovan McNabb Jr. going to UNLV, the home that Randall Cunningham and Steven Jackson, the running back, built. And we'll see what happens, man. What's his name? The old coach at Florida, man. Dan Mullen. Ain't he the head coach out there? I got to check. I think he is.
I'm not sure. I think you're right, though.
Dan Mullen.
Now, let's get into some basketball. Now, obviously, the New York Knicks are this year's world champions. And as a Sixers fan, couldn't be happier because how else are you going to put more pressure on this front office to finally right the ship here as far as Sixers basketball by having both of your rivals in the past 5 years in your division, in your conference, however you want to word that, both win championships. The Celtics have won a world champion in the 5 years. The Knicks have won a world championship. They've been to multiple NBA finals while you've been to one during that time period. So I'm happier for them for that, but that was a great series. Some of the stuff that was going on that I think Stephen A was talking about it. The lead losses for the San Antonio Spurs, that's something they can fix. In each of the 4 games they lost, they had double-digit leads for. So, if you're a San Antonio Spurs fan, don't hang your head, my friends. Y'all got a bright future. Think of this as like the beginning of the pop era, you know? When you guys were getting close. Now, obviously, you need to put a few more pieces around Wembyana, right? But now the other side of it is the thing that I want to talk to you about, right? Is the parity that we have in the NBA now, right? It is something we've never seen this before. We've never seen this. There was always a dominant team or 2 dominant teams, right? But the parity that we're seeing right now is very special, right? 8 different seasons, 8 different championships. I don't think that's ever happened in the NBA's history. So my question to you and to all of our listeners, because this is our main kind of topic for the this evening, is parity in pro sports over dynasties the formula to a sport's prolonged success? Now, we've seen, all these sports franchises, whether we're talking football, basketball, baseball, etc., excel when you have multiple different dynasties. But me and you have talked about this before, especially when it comes to basketball. I think parity is the best because it gets everyone involved. There's not like, we don't have any chance this season because, the Golden State Warriors have a super team or the Chicago Bulls have a super team. Or fill in a team because they have a super team and we can't compete with that. But the fact that you have 8 different NBA championships over the last 8 years, I think says a lot. We already talked about the record numbers that we've seen for this playoffs, both NHL and NBA, and I think this is probably. I didn't check to see what the finals numbers were, but I'm pretty sure that the Knicks fans delivered as far as viewership goes. I think you need parity in the NBA. I don't know if we can sit there and say that for all 4 major sports, but what do you think, Ben? Do you think parity is that formula for a sport's prolonged success?
I think it's the only way because dynasties are so rare. Think about it, Stephen. We've seen dynasties. We don't see them all. A dynasty is rare. We saw what the Bulls did. We saw what the Lakers did. We saw what San Antonio did. We saw what Golden State did. We saw what LeBron did when you talk about what he did with starting in Cleveland. Was starting in Miami. Then we talk about Cleveland. Then he took it to Los Angeles. But these are rarities, though. These are rarities. I remember when Scottie Pippen was going to go to the Lakers when everything was going downhill with the Bulls. He ended up going to the Trailblazers when they had Bonzi Wells and Damon Stoudemire, right, and Rasheed Wallace. It don't happen. Here's why you don't want to do the dynasty. What does a dynasty have to do? 2 things have to be. I got to keep my team together and my coach together. I got to keep those 2 things together. when you think about the parity in basketball now, it gives other teams a legitimate shot while they're getting better. At a certain point, Tatum and Jaylen Brown, all they knew was the freaking Eastern Conference Finals. They was going like every year, but they got hurt, and now somebody else comes in. Here's another thing with this parity. You know what you're noticing? International talent is taking over the NBA. 4 of the 5 first-team All-NBA players were international players. You know, Jokic and SGA and Luka and Wemby and those guys, and nothing wrong with that. But if you are a Philadelphia 76ers fan, you should feel good about this, because I know these words are not allowed to be said in Philly, the process. I got sick of hearing it. Ben Simmons, I blame you. I do not care. I will blame you to the end of time. You want your team.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Ben, right? I want to bring this up. I didn't mean to cut you off, but there are Sixers fans admitting right now that Tyrese Maxey's not a point guard; he's a shooting guard. That they should bring Ben Simmons back for one more final run to potentially have them try to compete in the playoffs this upcoming season. He quit on you.
Yes.
And then he quit on the next 2 teams he played for. He does not want to play basketball. And you're right. Ben Simmons is why a lot of Philadelphia fans just turn their nose up at any time the process gets mentioned. And the worst part about it is Joel gets attached to that because that's his freaking nickname.
It's Ben Simmons, man. That could be a whole show. I'm not even gonna let him get me riled up.
Series waiting to happen.
Yeah, it's parity in basketball. Is what makes basketball so beloved, because I think now did Golden State have a run? Yeah, it's over. That's not coming back again, right? And it's showing why the NBA
State this offseason.
Who's going to do that this offseason?
I said, remember what we were talking about a few weeks ago? Unless LeBron James goes to Golden State.
I mean, and the thing about dynasties, you know, Michael Jordan and company, or the Lakers, or the Celtics, right, or the Detroit Pistons. At a certain point, these guys were just dominating the league, but they was doing it back to back to back. When the Celtics had theirs and the Lakers had theirs, then Detroit had theirs. Then because Chicago didn't get good. 2 things about Chicago: they didn't get good until Detroit got old, and Michael never won a chip until he got Scotty. So let's not act like. And then he had cool coaching, Dennis Rodman. But I think now, when you think about parity, Steven, it's what you want, because these youngins in the NBA don't want to do no dynasty no more. They don't want to have to. They want their money. They going to where the money is. De'Aaron Fox, Lord, he's making that much money to be doing stuff like the De'Aaron. If you get a steal on the other end, you don't got to try to score. You could just run the clock out. Y'all win anyway. Y'all win that game anyway. It's just. Do I want to see? Now, what a New York Knicks team does for the league, it shows the league, hey, man, we just got to put it all together for 1 year. Because a chip is a chip. I mean, Chauncey Billups and Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace, they only won 1 time with Detroit. They only won 1. And Chauncey Billups was the MVP, right? They can talk all they want about Dirk. Dirk won 1. Dirk did beat Miami. They won 1. The Knicks may never win again, but they got him 1. They got him 1. So if
they had a special team, I think they could.
They'll be back.
They'll be back. Just because, dude. How does this happen? How did the New York Knicks basically have the Villanova Wildcats as 3/4 of their starting 5? They won 2 national championships together. Here, you know, in our backyard here in Philadelphia with Villanova, and then somehow the 3 of the 5 guys that were on that team are drafted in the first round, and then a few years later, they all wind up back on the same team together in New York and win a championship. That doesn't happen that often. They have a unique chemistry that it's going to be tough to beat that team. And that's fine. But I do agree that I think that they're going to have a lot of things go right their way, because after after teams just seen what they did to everybody this year. Remember they were down 2 games to none to the Atlanta Hawks in the
don't even remind me. Don't see.
I had to bring it up because you guys.
I will. You bring up a great point.
On the world champions and let it slip through your fingers.
Well, here's the thing, too, right? Something Bridges and Hunt and Brunson. I'm gonna keep saying this about the city of Philadelphia. It's gritty. Villanova, to me, it's good enough to be a blue blood, but people ain't gonna talk about Villanova the way they talk about Duke and North Carolina and UCLA and Kansas and Kentucky, but they should. And if you are Bridges, if you are Hunt, if you are Brunson, they think, dude, I don't like that. People talk about us like we didn't win 2 of them things in college. And I went from Philly to New York. I went from grimy to even more grimy. I went from a city that we get it out the mud. Ain't nobody gonna be giving us nothing but get us in that tournament. Brunson was like, dude, my daddy been preparing me for this my whole life. I remember when he got the max deal and people like, yeah, he's a lot of things. He's not the number one. He ain't your go-to guy. He ain't your friend. Says who? I did what Carmelo couldn't do. I did what Stephon Marbury couldn't do. I did what Big Cat did what Amari Stoudemire couldn't do. Big Cat did what Larry Johnson and Patrick Ewing couldn't do. The big three used to be what? Larry Johnson, John Starks, Patrick Ewing. Now you got Big Cat and Brunson and Bridges. And I don't like when people just say, well, they got lucky. No, you wanted it to be Wemby because you wanted the face to be Wemby. Brunson said, you better stop playing with me. Who got more pressure on them in the NBA than me? I'm the starting point guard for the New York Knicks. I can't even walk around the city. Don't nobody care about no freaking Brooklyn. Brooklyn might as well go back to New Jersey. Nobody care. So I do agree with you with the parity aspect, Stephen, because here's the thing. Players are making so much money and you don't know who's going to be on the team year in, year out. I want good basketball. It's great that we got a chance to see them. The Celtics didn't have no dynasty when they had the big three. They won one time. To my Ray Allen and company. You talking about KG and Paul? They won one. They won one.
You're right. They only won one.
So all I'm saying is, if you are a Philadelphia 76ers fan, this is what happens when you stick to what you do, and all you need is each other. I don't need nobody outside this arena. Joel, listen to me. I know you can shoot the three. You are the best big man in sports, in basketball, if you could just play with your back to the basket. They don't want to do, and let the three be added to your game. I don't want you standing out there on offense, clapping your hands together like you in church, man. Get under the basket. You too big. What Wemby just realized, if you don't get bigger, Big Cat say, bro, I'm gonna beat you up. And I'm not gonna all the way shut you down, but I'm gonna get in your head. I'm gonna get in your head. That's why when you had the free throw line, you missing them because your body all beat up. Joel, you already there, man. You already been MVP, man. Like I'm a Hawks fan, so there is no hope for me. I don't even want to talk about it. The Hawks drafted Luka Doncic, and they traded him for Trae Young, and then they traded Trae. Anyway, I don't even. I'm just saying it's crazy. It's crazy.
And we've done this a lot for some of the other sports. Let's do it for basketball. Who has the best nickname in NBA history? Air Jordan?
Listen.
Black Mamba? Is it the Diesel? King James? Magic?
I'm sorry. I will say
Your
this.
favorite NBA nickname?
I will say this. The answer is a beautiful name. Air Jordan is a beautiful name. King James. Black Mamba is respected. I mean, like Kobe, man. Black Mamba, man. Like it's Diesel, the Dream Shake. I I I love King James. I think it's great. To me, it is the Black Mamba. I think it is. I love the answer. I'm the answer. But Kobe, Black Mamba. When they retired both his jerseys, and he said Mamba out, and he put the mic on the ground. Man, what man? Kobe. Because here's the thing: Air Jordan is because he played in the air. King James, we get it. The Diesel because of how big he is. The answer because Black Mamba
He was
is a
supposed to
mentality.
be the answer to Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Black Mamba is a mentality.
That's why I think
and to this day,
Kobe has a distinct advantage here.
And think about it.
Not only was it his nickname, he turned it into his mentality.
Kobe is the one player. This is taking another way from Jordan, or the Dream, or Shaq, or AI, or LeBron. If Kobe Bryant's on the court, you think, dude, watch that dude. That dude right there. He is a Black Mamba means I am here to kill you. I'm a killer. Like most of us will never see a Black Mamba in person because if you ever had, that snake is huge. But then you think, Steven, between you and me, people say, hey man, if you saw a Black Mamba, depending on where you saw him at, people like, did the snake kill him? No, he had a heart attack. When I said, God, the snake, it's a bunch of beautiful ones, like I say, but I just think that for me, it's Black Mamba because if you ask 100 people, what does the Mamba mentality, you're going to get 100 answers. And ain't none of them wrong. None of them. Black Mamba. I mean, love you, King James and Air Jordan and Diesel and the Dream and the answer. It's Black Mamba. And I guarantee you, if you ask all of them, yeah, Black Mamba, man.
Listen, I want to be at home and say the answer, but I can't. It's
the answer is a listen, you got the big ticket, you know what I'm saying, with KG, you got the truth with Paul Pierce, you got some names, right? You got you got some names, I like the new thing is you just a one-name superstar like Steph, Bron, D Wade, KD, Wemby, Black Mamba. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I definitely think that Kobe has this one hands down because, like I said, it's not just a nickname that he has on the court. He molded it into what his play is, what his personality is. So it's why I think he does have the best nickname in NBA history. I mean, of course, there's ones that we always love. You're always going to love Chocolate Thunder, right?
Yep, Magic. Yeah, Magic. Yeah,
Magic, Sir Charles, like all
Sir
that.
Charles.
All that. There's levels to this, and there was
man, you got some nice ones, but Black Mamba is dude, that's such a beautiful, like, I don't know who helped them come up with that, like Black Mamba. Yeah. People say that's a snake, right? That's a killer. That's what that is. You better be somewhere else if you see something like that.
If
you better be
among you. All I gotta say, if you want to know what that's like, go watch Kill Bill Volume 2.
Listen,
you get bit by a Black Mamba.
Yeah. I said, listen, man. Somebody goes, think about that, man. What bit him? A Black Mamba. Oh, what? a snake that was like 30 feet long, man. It was crazy. Man, that's crazy.
And speaking of crazy, did you see Seattle's ring ceremony?
I did not.
Man, they need to get some originality to it. So I remember everyone was making fun of the Eagles last year, right, with the wings that popped out.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what Seattle did? So they made the ring look like their stadium. You know how they have the distinct two sides that are like significantly raised up. So that's what happens with this one. When you push the button on this ring, the sides pop out.
I mean, I now let me.
I'm not gonna say the comments on that like cheap copy and all that stuff. You don't own the rights to having a thing on your ring pop out and stuff like that. And that means you're the only one that can do that in history. That's not how that works. Is it similar? Yeah. But when you came out with that design last year, you don't think that as soon as the next team won it the following year, they were like, "Yo, give us that Eagles treatment." Like,
hey, you know what?
Have that too. Like, I mean, I get why majority of Eagles fans would be generally irritated about this, but like, dude, like, I think it's a cool looking ring. I'm not even.
No, it's you know what it is.
Like,
you know what it is. Though. You know what it is.
Their stadium into the ring. That's awesome.
They here's the real thing, right? Whichever one win another championship first, if it's Philly or the Seahawks, do they say, all right, dude, we got to come with something smooth? Because obviously Seattle don't have
like, they don't give us like a John Cena spinning ring or something like that. We good. We're good.
If you
think they should take an idea from what they just did, and the next ring should look like the Link or something like that.
You got the Eagles, you got the Hawks, both of them birds. You know, y'all got to go birds. I guess they say go Hawks, like whatever.
It's go Hawks go, like kind of like go Pack go.
Oh, go Hawks go. You know, I mean, I'm an Atlanta Hawk. We don't say anything for them. We just go home. We don't do anything. Ain't no go anything. But if Seattle was saying, you know, listen, we respect the Eagles, right?
Like, yeah, I think that's the sincerest form of flattery, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Like, yo, your ring was so badass, we had to model ours against it because that was cool as hell. But you should be happy about it. And instead, you know, you have Negadelphian fans that are just like, old grandpa over there. And I get it. I'm like 10 years away from that. You never know what happens. But I can't see getting angry with them over. It's a cool.
Oh, no. It's flat. Yeah. If every Eagles fan that saw that was like, wait a minute. It's like, we've seen this before, right? And I will say this though, you know, maybe it's something with the because I guarantee you whoever did the Eagles, that's who Seattle's going to call. These owners are not that different.
You probably have the Seattle like, listen, we on the way out the door. We want to give these guys a special ring, man.
Yeah, man. Like, hey, man, how much? And they say how much did the Eagles pay for that? You know, so I can respect it. Coach McDonald seems like a very traditionalist type coach. He ain't trying to go against the grain. He's saying, look, man, we got a Super Bowl ring, buddy. Like, if ours look like theirs, if we saying, hey, all right, let's see who's gonna get the next one. You know, I mean, y'all got y'all first one with with a different quarterback. Y'all got y'all second with. We got our second one with a different quarterback. Let's see which one of our quarterbacks we got currently can get to the next one. I think it's going to be the Eagles before the Seahawks. Or if we want to do it like that, how about the Eagles just tell the Seattle, we'll see y'all in the NFC Championship game. Let's see.
I'll say it like this. I think it's going to be Philly and an NFC West team is going to be the NFC Championship game.
So you saying it's going to be
or Rams?
Oh my goodness, it is. Yeah,
the NFC Championship.
Yeah, and it's going. And what is significant about that? Sean McVay has been to 2 championships with 2 different quarterbacks. He won. He lost with Jared Goff, and he won with Matthew Stafford. Well, now Jalen get to say, "Hey, bro, I do this to everybody. I name them and I don't beat them. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Brock Purdy, name them. I might as well add you to the list." So, yeah, I can see it being Jalen Hurts is going to be the reason why Matthew Stafford walks into the sunset with that L and going on to TV because they gave him because what Jalen Hurts is trying to work on another big contract. Matthew Stafford just got a new deal, 1-year deal, extension, because he got a regular season MVP. Last time I checked, Jalen Hurts has a Super Bowl MVP. Matthew Stafford does not. That went to Cooper Kupp. So let's see. And now Cooper Kupp is over his services in Seattle. And Jalen Hurts is like, I'm still with the team that drafted me. So come on, LA. Let's do it.
I do got to talk about some sad news today. Alden Smith. We got to talk about that.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing about that, I came across this, right? It has to be said. Not only did we lose Alden Smith this week, but earlier in that day, he was giving back to his community. He was bringing pizzas to the homeless and things of that nature. Before the day is out, he is no longer with us.
Yeah.
Family is is sending his brain to Boston to be checked for CTE. I don't think CTE is what led to his death, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a family member. I'm just a regular old Joe here on on a social media platform, just speaking my piece. But that's rough, man. Like, dude, it's not like he was sick. It was just boom. So, I believe he did have some stuff he was dealing with, but have him given back to the community, being a member of the community, and then before the night is out, he's no longer with us. That's a rough thing to deal with. And then we've seen it again. You know, some more of the football players are calling out other football players because they're not showing up to funerals. I think it's the same thing. It's like with boxers, dude. You don't want to see where you could end up. It's like you're being willfully ignorant to what could potentially be. And I think that's more the thing than it is a disrespect of Alden Smith and his family or any one of the players that passed away this year. I think that's more of a thing than there's a disrespect or a disconnect between, fellow players, at least in my opinion. But, what are your thoughts on this one, brother?
Yeah, this one hurt. I mean, I never like knew Alden Smith. I remember he got drafted out of Mizzou. Coach Harbaugh drafted him. Really, really good player, man. Like was one of the best young pass rushers in the National Football League when he was with San Francisco. I know he kind of bounced around a little bit. It's very, very troublesome and crazy to think about because, like you mentioned, Stephen. I mean, earlier in the day, handing out pieces to the homeless and then found unresponsive in his car later on. And I know his family has already said they're going to donate his brain to CTE research to see if that was the case. I think when it comes to football players, being a former player myself, you have to take care of yourself when the game is over. You can't do this thing where, you do this, oh, I'm going to be all right. It's going to be fine. Man, you need to go see your primary care doctor. You need to go talk, get a therapist. You need to go talk to a neurologist. You need to go making sure you're doing it because you didn't play a contact sport. You played a collision sport. And it's like, think about it, Stephen, if you was in construction for 30 years and all of a sudden you retire, your body is going to start feeling the effects. Hey, man, I'm working with heavy machinery for 30 years. Or if I was in the military for 30 years, PTSD and all these different things are a part of my life. When life really slows down, I do not know the severity of what was going on in Alden Smith's life, but I do know it was something. And if you are a current, future, or former player, make sure you are doing the necessary things you need to do for yourself, not just for you, but for your family, for your wife, for your children, for your well-being. And this is not coming at Alden Smith or anybody like him. It's just saying, don't self-diagnose. Don't suffer in silence. Don't
be the tough guy and be too proud and not go get things checked out.
Listen, I'm speaking to former football players and I'm speaking to men. Fellas, we have to take control of our personal well-being like we making sure that we taking care of ourselves during the week to get to the game on Sunday. Go see that therapist, go see that psychiatrist, go see that doctor, and listen to them. If they say, can't eat this anymore, can't do that anymore. Because you know what don't show up on a x-ray, but it's showing up in your body? Stress. Man, we can't, you stressing all the time. And so
I think personal peace is a very big thing.
And listen, I be seeing your threads, Stephen, on Facebook saying, hey, If I got to, you speaking to me when you saying this. Listen, I had to pick between me and them. I picked me because
Listen,
I
there's very
can
few
love
people
them,
I
but
would stress out my life over. Very few. I've been there. I've been the guy sitting there trying to help everyone put out their own fires. Here's the problem though: when you need fires put out in your own life, it's a bunch of crickets. So
X.
you got to take care of yourself first. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else. So
What is that best scenario when you on the plane and they say if the air pressure goes out and the two things come down, you got to put yours on first before you can put somebody else's on. We so busy trying to put theirs on that we done lost air. So we gotta, and I'm talking to guys specifically. Number one, make sure you got enough friends, and make sure you got enough male friends that you can confide to, talk to, let that stuff out, man. Let that stuff go. We want to live, we want to be these 80, 90-year-old old people that's terrorizing these Targets and Walmarts and you know what I'm saying? And because we old, they gonna let us, they go Ben again, they go Mr. Steven again. Man, listen, this stuff. We want to know what it's like to be old men. You know what I'm saying? We want to know what it's like to be great grandfathers and different things. You know, like, hey man, I saw your grandfather driving the other day. He was driving, yeah, man. He was driving real slow, but he was driving. So yeah, we owe that to ourselves. We've given so much to so many for so long. It's okay to be selfish if it's gonna mean you living and dying. So yeah, man. But when I saw that about Alden, I said, dang, man, gone too soon. And now it's a big what if. So before we say what could I have done for somebody else, start with you, then reach out to your people and ask them, are they all right? And when they lie and say, I'm good,
man,
say,
like
no,
when
you really are.
you ain't when you hear from somebody within a period of time and they go beyond that period of time. Reach
Yeah.
out. Like, yo, you good, brother? I ain't heard
Yeah,
from
exactly.
you.
And fellas, stop saying you all right when you ain't. It's okay to say no, because that's where it starts. And this is coming from a person who goes through therapy. I go to therapy every week. It does wonders for me because it gets me to take a full assessment. I went from self-conscious to self-aware. But I know I have a wife and children and brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews and cousins and parents. I want to see them. I want them to see me living a healthy life. I want to see them living a healthy life. Starts with a conversation and it ends with just doing the necessary things. We can do it. We should do it. We will do it. But we got to be accountability partners for each other. Even if we, and you know what, guys, my wife always asks me, guys talk to each other different. I said, yeah, guys, we can be blunt. We don't got to sugarcoat it. We don't got to patronize a lot of each other. That's only when we tight. You know what I'm saying? When we close.
We don't have petty patties in our group. We got truthful Tom who has no filter.
Oh yeah. I mean, and here's the thing: the guy who was a jerk when we were younger, we didn't realize he was just being honest. He wasn't being a jerk.
He just didn't have a filter between mouth and brain. That was it. That was his only real problem.
And those people are free. Those people be like, those are the ones in the room saying, "This food is nasty." Why not try to
they're gonna put something in our food.
Exactly. They'd be like, shh. What you mean? Shh. I'm not gonna, my stomach ain't gonna be hurting because I'm trying to be nice. Who made this? Sir, what is this? Oh, okay. Give me I'll take the water with the lemon in it.
Something before I am gonna get into some baseball in a second, but I did want to bring this up because I had been talking about this. A fighter had told me about this earlier in the year, and I didn't believe him. Well, Conor McGregor made the announcement last night. BKFC has signed a deal with Fox Sports. And if people haven't paid attention, Fox Sports also has bought in Roku TV in the last month. So bare knuckle boxing is about to get put in a whole lot more homes. I know they have a deal with the Zone. I'm pretty sure it ends at the end of the year. I'm pretty sure about this time next year we'll be watching BKFC on FS1. On Big Fox, all that stuff. So, in 8 years, Dave Feldman, Conor McGregor, and all the people pulling the levers over there at BKFC went from being run out of Pennsylvania to now having more than half of the United States fully sanctioned for bare knuckle boxing and a major TV deal on your desk. That is believing in yourself to a supreme level and having the right people around you. You can say whatever you want about Conor, about Dave Feldman. You don't like this, you don't like that. What they've built, what they've grown in the last 8 years, you can't talk that away. So, big congratulations to the BKFC team.
It's impressive. It's what we talked about earlier, though, Stephen. It's what we talked about with Dana White, the company.
BKFC fighters, that sponsor pay got to go up because you on network.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, say what you want about Conor McGregor. He has used his influence, his celebrity, his reach to reach over to say, "Hey, I know I cashed out, but I am one fighter amongst a bunch, and I know that to build a foundation, we got to come together." So I'm happy that they're getting these TV. That's how the money is guaranteed to go up. You getting them TV deals? Now the sponsorships become bonuses. Yeah, the TV deals, that's a guaranteed money that we get to share. Them collective bargain agreements with the TV gets so much, we get so much. And now, bare knuckle, hey man, why you do this? You see what we getting per fight? I mean, what, $100K per fight, bare minimum? I mean, I don't want to get knocked out, but I know I'm getting my money, right? And say what you want. If I'm at the professional level, I have earned my money because I still represent a lot of fighters who will never make it to this level. A lot in these bars, on dirt roads that ain't got no freaking street lights, and I'm in there
nowhere to outlet it to, and they just didn't know that they could go and do stuff like this and be paid to do it. They're stuck in our court system somewhere. They're stuck in depression, drinking himself through a bottle or pills or whatever.
Yeah,
a lot of these athletes who are at the level where they can compete doing bare knuckle, doing boxing and stuff like that, they don't get the chance. And we're talking about Conor McGregor. He called out Bud Crawford after the fight, after the UFC fights this weekend, because Bud Crawford was running down Troupe, right, the champion who just lost to Justin Gaethje. And apparently Conor went on Ariel Helwani's podcast, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, and basically said Bud Crawford turned down a $200 million fight that was going to be one boxing, one MMA, because he did not want to do MMA. And if you look at the comments that they made to each other, you kind of get it. He basically said that, Conor was basically telling Crawford like he didn't have the heart to do the octagon. He's like, that's the beauty about being boxers. Y'all come to us. Y'all need us for the payday. He's not wrong there. He's not wrong. Part of
he's and Bud Crawford saying, "Look, dude,
but the reason
why you want me to do both
$200 million for two fights in a fight that you think you could more than likely at least win one of them."
Oh yeah, I mean, Conor knows. Conor's already been in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. He's saying, "Dude, look, the likelihood." The reason why I'm not going to be the boxer is because I don't got the stamina for it. Like, dude, you got to keep throwing punches. And the first couple of rounds, that's all momentum. I'm tired. And then they still professional fighters. So I respect Bud Crawford saying, if I go into the octagon and I lose, it's not going to be Bud Crawford, the boxer. I got him back. Let's make the $200 million for this box. Let's do 2 boxing matches. So I respect.
Yeah, do one in Bud's hometown and do another one in Ireland.
Hey man, but Bud is saying I'm not hurting for money either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't Floyd Mayweather who just lost.
He let them vacate his title. Like he does not care about any of that extraordinary stuff. He does not care. Does not. So But it'll be interesting to see how the next year or so plays out for Conor McGregor. He is slated to fight Max Holloway at International Fight Week, but he's already laid out like he's got 2 fights left on his contract. He is begging for them to not make him wait until next year to have his next fight. He's like, give me another one at the end of the year. I think he wants out of that contract, and he wants to do bare knuckle, and he wants to do it before what's left of his athletic prime is gone. You got to remember, he's at the point that he's going to go into that cage on International Fight Week. He is going to be the longest former champion layoff from injury. He hasn't been in the ring or the cage in 5 years since he broke his leg. Only 2 people have ever returned from a broken leg that were once world champions: Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman. So no matter what, Conor's already done everything. You've already said it. He has nothing to prove. He don't need money. He's doing this because how much he loves combat sports.
Yes.
He's just to see which Conor returns.
Oh, he's an action. I mean, Conor McGregor is an action junkie. Like, it ain't even hard to fit. He want to be with action at. So,
looking forward to it. Congratulations, BKFC, on the Fox deal. Now I got to get into some nonsense. Major League Baseball, you're in my crosshairs again. So, obviously, I think everyone knows by this point in time, most of the teams have had their Pride Weeks or Pride Games. Well, a couple of the San Francisco Giant players weren't having any of it. They wrote Bible verses on their Pride-themed caps. The MLB turned around and had issued them warnings. I have a problem with that. First off, you guys already control all that nonsense. So if I'm these players at this point in time, I'm like, listen, these are my beliefs. This is what I believe in. This is my ideology. I'm not going to compromise myself for your one night. And if that's the case, if this is the way the MLB going, don't be surprised if you see a lot of these baseball players saying, I'm not suiting up. I'm not playing today. I'm not putting that on me. So we're now policing the like. What if they had a teammate that died?
mm-hmm.
You're gonna police that and give them a warning about that too?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's one of these things where, like, you got to pick and choose your battle. You're approaching a potential player lockout, walkout, whatever, with the CBA coming up because you have to have a salary cap, right? And then you want to nitpick at players for this. This is why y'all ain't getting anywhere. There ain't nowhere to go.
Yep.
And I think if you're a baseball fan, you should really enjoy this next season because it might be the last one we have for a few years. I think this is going to be worse than 96.
Yeah, it's number one. I respect those 3 players because I think you said it too. The MLB, the NHL, the NFL, the NBA, they want uniformity. They want conformity. They want everybody to just go with everything. They don't want unity. They want uniformity. They want conformity. Well, I mean, in the Bible, it says, do not conform to this world, be ye transformed by the renewals of your mind. If these 3 gentlemen who realize my ideology, my religious beliefs, that's who I am, baseball is what I do. So you're telling me they're not, and they're saying, I'm not protesting against Pride Month or Pride Day. I'm telling you, I'm going to be me within it. That's all they're doing. I'm writing Bible verses on my cap because this is how, if you're going to make me be a part of this is how I'm going to be a part of it. And you don't like it. Well, to those people that say, well, they signed up to play for the Giants. They didn't sign up for all this. Don't they say
signed up to play baseball, not
exactly.
to be part of
and that's
nonsense that I don't believe in.
They are saying we are not telling you guys what to not be a part of or not be for. We're telling you this is my belief system. We're telling you, this is how I live my life. This is how I live my life. This ain't how I play baseball. It's how I live my life. These are the morals and values that I stand on. And now, y'all trying to tell me or us that I can't do that. Or I've been warned what? Because I can't write Bible verses on my cap now? When we got organizations putting patches on freaking jerseys now. So
patches on jerseys, sponsors on jerseys.
Yes. So I respect what this is the world we live in now. My religious beliefs, my theology, my ideology is how I live my life. When baseball is over with, this is going to be me. When I'm not on the diamond, when I'm at home, when I'm in church, this is who I am. And because I don't go with the flow, now I'm a problem. I'm not protesting. I'm not trying to make waves. Y'all doing it. Y'all are bringing more attention to this than we did. Y'all are trying to ostracize us because we ain't doing what you want us to do, saying what you want us to say. Well, I'm sorry, certain things are bigger than sport. And to them, so I respect it because, like you say, Stephen, they're not trying to be the resistance MLB is. MLB has a problem because you're talking to grown men. I know what I signed up for. I know what my contract say. Nowhere in the contract doesn't say I can't do this, and nowhere in the contract doesn't say I have to conform. Nowhere. So I do agree. Baseball is going to be in a world of hurt because baseball has an identity problem. Baseball, to me, okay, certain sport, basketball is about the players. Football is about the shield. Baseball is about the teams, the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Braves. Now, baseball is not that far away from being about the teams and the players. Because with this new collective bargaining agreement, baseball is going to have to decide, do we care about the players in this game or do we care about the perception of the game? Because right now you losing in the perception battle. And if I'm baseball, hashtag no salary cap. Now, not ever. For what? No. If you wanted a salary cap, that's how you should have started. Don't. That ain't happening. So I agree with. Listen, I don't agree with Bryce Harper about a lot of things now, but I agree with that. Bryce Harper, you are 100%. And
here's the thing: you can't do that right now. You would have to set it up where, in 10 years, there's a salary cap, because you have 8 or more teams that are significantly over what would be their proposed cap. So what happened? You're gonna have to wait for some of these contracts, like Shohei Ohtani's and Bryce Harper and Trey Turner and guys like that. You're gonna have to wait for their contracts to expire before you can implement this. Hell, the freaking Dodgers are I think it's $400 million over the proposed cap. How in the world are they ever going to get under it if this was forced upon them? It wouldn't. So you have to think about this logically. If you really care about it, all right, if you want to make this a thing, I get that, but you should kind of sub-write it in after these contracts are up, this is what we're going to go to.
Yep.
That moving forward, anything over X amount of dollars or years is going to have to go to some type of arbitrator to see if it works within the system. But sit there telling them, right, we're going to do this now, and what you do right now, you're going to be penalized this or whatever. How are you going to do that to a team that is so far in? They can't turn back now. Contracts are signed and guaranteed.
Well, what I'm saying, and you know what? Too, let me tell you what I appreciate the most about what Bryce is doing. Bryce is saying, dude, I owe it to the future players. Don't you know the players that came before me looked out for me? Don't you know?
That if the players accepted this, they would be taking a 500% decrease in salary.
Stephen, think about this. Let's just bring it down to us. excuse me, we are content creators, we are podcasters. AKA, there is no limit to how much money we can make when it comes to sponsorship. Just imagine, we get all these sponsorships. Somebody go, wait a minute. You can only make so much money with it. What? You can only make that's favoring the sponsors. That's them saying, owners, y'all are making money hand over fist. Even y'all owners that don't put no money into your freaking rosters. That the season is over before opening day. To the ones that don't care nothing about winning, y'all still making money. Nope. 100 and all those games a year, man, stop it.
162 if you
and
don't
they better stop this. And for those y'all think that ain't a lot, that it still comes down to the last week of the season. It'll still come. These games are crazy. Not if you're a Mets fan. No. Y'all are gonna miss. Okay.
Yo, I wanted to say this to you. Now you guys are still at the top of the division. Y'all realize we went from, in a month and a half, we went from 10 games out of a potential playoff spot to we have the second playoff spot as of right now.
The one thing about the Phillies is this. I told you this, Steven. I said y'all are going to figure it out. Y'all got too many players at too many key positions to not figure it out. The Phillies have done everything but win it all in this current climate. And I believe y'all are right there. The Nationals, I got so sick of the Nationals in Strasburg. Is he playing this year or not? That was the weirdest. That was weird. So I think that Bryce Harper, to me, this next collective bargain agreement, this is going to be his legacy. Because I believe he's going to stand on, fellas, because he's still a big name. He's still up there with Shohei. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's still up there, with those guys as far as like the best players.
He's a senior statesman. If you think about it, if you really think about it, Bryce Harper is the LeBron James of Major League Baseball. He's been on the cover of Sports Illustrated since he was 15 years old. So this is more than just personal to him. You're right. It's his legacy.
And like I said,
agreement will be
I respect that.
Right,
I respect
legacy. Not if he wins a championship, not if he goes and wins another MVP, or if he hits 500 home runs or anything like that. This is going to be his legacy.
And I'm looking forward to people like himself. Different. I mean, the big names have to step up. Shohei Ohtani, what I'm saying, Mookie Betts, Scherzer, what I'm saying. Those guys got to say, "Hey, fellas, we talking about the next 30 years in this game, man. We got to let these owners know that appreciation gonna have to come through dollar signs. It's gonna have to come through decimals."
I think they don't want another Bobby Bonilla on their hands, or having guys that've been out of the league for 10 years or more. And
Bobby Bonilla is that's the greatest contract.
No,
here's the thing. It's not just
one. Bobby Bonilla has two. He has two contracts like that. One from the Baltimore Orioles, one from the New York Mets. That is the smartest retirement policy you could ever have. He almost gets $2 million a year, and he hasn't been on a baseball field in a professional capacity in over 10.
That is called just trust me. Just trust me. And so look,
and the only reason that happened is because the Mets owner was friends with Bernie Madoff, and Bernie Madoff with his money.
Well,
and
listen to the Juan Sotos and the Shohei Ohtanis and the Ronald Acuna Jr.'s, right? And the Freddie Freemans and the Mookie Betts and even the Clayton Kershaws of the world. I'm gonna need y'all to put y'all superpowers together and understand that the MLB is not. These owners are not your. If you want to call somebody, call DeMaurice Smith, former president of the NFLPA, and so he can tell you, read his book. Oh man, I can't even think of his book right now. Something Wars, Trading Wars, something like that. And that way, y'all gonna have to be ready to go to battle. Y'all gonna have to be ready to go to battle. Hold on, book. I'm gonna edit it.
name before he gets off here.
Turf Wars. It's called Turf Wars. But you know.
So, as we get ready to wrap this one up, Ben, already over 2 hours.
Yep.
Felt like it's only been a half. We wrap this up, Ben. Anything you want to talk to the people with? Share your parting thoughts, parting shots for this afternoon. The time is yours, my friend.
Make sure, fellas, that we are reaching out to each other, that we are telling each other encouraging words, getting the help that we need. There's nothing wrong with therapy. There's nothing wrong with seeking therapy. There's nothing wrong with going to therapy. Do the things we need to have meaningful lives, not just for ourselves. Be selfish about your well-being so you could be here, for your family. Always fun coming on here with you, Steve. And as always, Marvin Powell for Hall of Fame.
It is always going to be Marvin Powell for Hall of Fame. Always. I mean, other than that, listen, it's an interesting time in sports. We just got done crowning our NBA championship and our NHL championship. And as we're getting ready to gear up for 4th of July, you got the All-Star game for baseball coming up here in Philadelphia. You got the FIFA World Cup going on right now. You have a lot of stuff going on in the sports world. So we're going to always have a lot of stuff to talk about here on the Fan in the End. Working on a few more BKFC interviews for Liberty Brawl leading up here for July 3rd. I'm going to be locking down on. We're going to be getting some more guests here on the Fan in the End, as per usual, always working on some fun stuff. And working on getting Blaine Bishop back on here again when the three of us are here. Hopefully we can get that situated for July. We'll see how that plays out. But, again, we're always going to have the fun talks, push the envelopes. We're all part of the Common Sense Committee here on the South Florida Tribune. So, again, everyone for tuning in, everyone for in the chats, everyone that shows us love. Again, we did pass our 2K subscribers for YouTube. So I will be announcing a giveaway the beginning of July. We're also getting closer to our monetization goals. So if you guys want to help out when we hit that goal, we will also be doing another giveaway as well. So guys, just keep hopping on here, regardless if it's me, Ben, Marvin here on the Fan in the End. If it's just me doing Real and the Rare with the interviews that I do with the combat sports athlete, everything that Scott and Candy does here on the South Florida Tribune. Show up for all of it because we got a lot of fun stuff going. We're not slowing down anytime soon, and we're going to look forward to continue giving you guys the best content as far as sports talk radio goes. And try to get you some more. We'll get you some more college football, some more college basketball. Do our best to make sure we give you all the major sports and sports news here on the South Florida Tribune. But other than that, this was another episode of the Fan in the End. I'm Steve. That's Ben. We will catch you guys on the rebound, my friends. Peace on out.